All right, our lesson today is on trapezoids and kites. We know these shapes already, how they're defined, but by looking at them a little bit further, we're gonna just be able to solve problems about trapezoids and kites a little bit better. So let's say we're just dealing with a regular trapezoid. That means that one pair of parallel sides is happening. This side and this side are not parallel here, so they're totally different. Let me put some numbers in to represent the angles here, and I want you to think about what do we know, like what could we set up as an equation with these angles? Are any of these angles equal? So like, is 1 equal to 2? No. Is 3 equal to 4? No. How about as a diagonal, or like that is 1 equal to 4? No. 3 equal to 4? No. Or 1 to 3? No, nothing is equal here. But what we can conclude is if you have parallel lines and then you have what would be called a transversal, we have angles like 1 and 2 have a relationship that is, if they add together, if I add angle 1 plus angle 3, I could make them equal. I know they would equal 180. These are same side interior. The same would be true for angle 2 plus angle 4. These are same side interior. They equal 180. But don't make the mistake in saying 3 plus 4. Those added together do not make 180. Because these are not parallel lines here. Now, if I make an isosceles trapezoid, that means I still have one pair of parallel sides, but isosceles means that the legs, this is the leg, or that's the leg, is the legs are also, they're also the same length. But note, of course, they're not running parallel to each other, but they are the same length. Let me put some angles in here to label. If this is the case, well, we know what we established already about 1 and 3. We know these add to 180. We know these add to 180, but there's something else we can claim. And that is that 1 and 2 are the same. And 3 and 4 are the same. These angles are on the base, the top and the bottom. So what we'd say is the base angles are equal. So in this case, 1 equals 2 and 3 equals 4. The other thing I'm going to point out here is that if you were to draw diagonals, the length of the diagonals are the same length from one side to the other as the same as the other side to the other side. So I'm going to have another thing to say here is that the diagonals are equal length. Okay, so that is for trapezoids. Make sure we know which angles are equal, and if it's an isosceles, or if it's just a trapezoid, which angles add up, are same side interior and add up to 180. Now for kites. A kite has no pairs of parallel lines. The first thing I'm going to point out with the kite is that if you were to draw a diagonal here, just this one diagonal, what it's done is taken these two, made it into two triangles. And these two triangles are both isosceles triangles, which we've already learned about. Let me turn it on its side. Let's see this isosceles triangle at the top. It would have two of its angles equal if it's an isosceles. So this angle equals this angle right here. Now, if I turn it the other way around and looked at the other isosceles triangle on top now, then it has two angles that are the same. Now, they're not the same as the ones on the bottom, but they are the same to each other up here. That's why I got to put 2 marks on this one. And then that could potentially help me solve some of the problems here. So that's the first thing. The second thing I can do is I'm going to draw 2 diagonals here, this one and this one. And what happens with the kite is we create a 90-degree angle at the diagonals bisection here, or diagonals when they're perpendicular. So I'm going to make a note of that, diagonals. And that's really important to know, that there's a 90-degree angle at all of these corners, because then you might use that to find, like, add up to 180 and know the angles add up to 180. You already have one of them now is 90. That could be helpful. And let me draw the diagonal going this way. By going this way, what I've got here is I've split it up into 2 triangles. And what you can see is that they have 2 sides the same, and this middle side would be equal to itself, giving me an Sss situation, which tells me these 2 triangles are exactly the same. So whatever information's on this triangle is exactly what's on this triangle here. So that means this angle here matches with this angle here. And then this angle here, I got to put 2 marks on that one, is equal to this one over here. Now, don't think this angle equals this angle, but these 2 equal, these 2 equal. And actually the third angle here, here, and here, those 2 are the same. I'm going to just simplify a little bit of that by just, in this fourth one, I'm just going to put that this angle and that angle are the same. In case that's all you need, we know those are the same. All right, there it is for trapezoids and kites. You can go ahead and practice now.